Voice Junkie, a podcast for nerds, unapologetic truths that are put in these words. Voice Junkie, a place to talk sports, politics, and pop culture. See who's holding the torch. Voice Junkie, who's saying the best? None other than the protagonist, Mr. Chuck West. Voice Junkie. Now tune in and listen. The trendaholics in full effect and giving you wisdom.
Welcome to the Voice Junkie podcast. This is episode 106. Finally, we are back. We got so many topics to talk about, so many things that I want to jump into. There was actually some topics that I had to leave off the docket. Let me say docket. I think it's a cool word to use. There was some topics I had to leave off the menu today because I didn't want to talk for too goddamn long. But the main things, let's jump straight into it, yo. We had a great sports weekend, first of all. First and foremost, if you're a sports fan like I am, and you know this channel is all about sports, this podcast is all about sports and politics, the podcast specifically, Voice Junkie. But this weekend was all about sports. You had the World Cup. You had the NBA Finals Game 5. And you had UFC Freedom 250. Now, the two ladders I'm going to talk about in great depth because, I mean, it has the internet ablaze. Let's jump right into it. Let's get to the first topic. All right. Great weekend for sports. Like I said, UFC Freedom 250 and Knicks win the chip. Oh, my God. I can't believe the Knicks have won the championship. It is still mind-numbing to me how it happened. Not that it happened, but how it happened is the crazy thing. But before we get to that, let's talk about UFC 250. And let's start with the main event. I'm not going to talk and break down the whole card. This is not a UFC or this is not a mixed martial arts podcast. This is not a mixed martial arts podcast. All right? This is a sports podcast. So we're going to get straight to it and get to the most important parts. And that is the main event, like I just said. Yo, first and foremost, Ilia Topuria got dog walked. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine about this leading up into the fight as far as, the fight, the main event. And before Freedom 250, I just had this crazy feeling in my gut that Justin Gaethje was going to do it. And I said this to my friend. I said, I think he's going to do it. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was because I was just too busy or maybe because I just didn't want to do it because I'm not a gambler like that. But I felt confident enough to put some money down. I just, for whatever reason, I might have forgot and didn't do it. And I'm upset that I didn't do it because I would have probably, made a nice bit of change, given that Gaethje was a 6-1 underdog against Topuria. But Topuria, as great as he is, because he is great, let's be clear. I know it's easy to beat up on the guy now because he's the butt of the jokes, but he is great. He just had a really bad night. He had a humbling experience on UFC 250. He had a humbling experience. Every great fighter, every one of them, just about every one of them, gets humbled. It's just the nature of the beast. It's like boxing, professional boxing. Listen, in one given night, you could get knocked the fuck out. It's just how it is. It's combat sports. That's why you can't be too arrogant. It's a difference between confidence, even a little bit of cockiness, and arrogance, just all-out arrogance. Arrogance is, you should never be in that territory because of the sport you're in. You can be beat. Anybody can be beat in mixed martial arts or any kind of combat sports on any given night. One punch would do it. And Ilia, he experienced a lot of punches. Let's get straight to it. First and foremost, let's get into some of the some video packages that I got, just kind of setting up the fight and how it was built throughout the week. You had Ilia talking a lot of shit, and you had Gaethje being the more calm and composed out of the two, saying, hey, I could lose this match like any other match. And he was the one that was being calm and composed. He was the one that was acting like he's been here before, which he has. He's been in numerous big matches. That's another thing that people kind of overlooked. He's been in a ton of these wars. This was nothing to him. This was just another fight for him because he's been here before. Ilya didn't treat the moment the way the moment needed to be treated. This was some special shit. This wasn't a normal fight. You fighting in the fucking yard, front yard or backyard of the fucking White House. You're walking through the White House. Like, this is not normal. None of this is normal. So the way that Ilya treated it was just mind-numbing to me, and it showed how freaking arrogant he really was. So I'm trying to pull up one clip. Let me pull up the Justin Gaethje clip first. Him talking to Shannon on Nightcap, just giving a detailed account of how he's training and how he's going to prove people wrong. And more importantly, he also detailed what he's going to do to Ilya's fucking face.
You built your reputation as an exciting fighter. You come to fight every time. Nobody ever questions whether Justin Gaethje is going to be ready to fight or if he's going to fight. So take us through your fight strategy.
Well, our sport is so fast. We're talking less than seconds, less than inches. And I thrive in those chaotic situations. And there's a reason my face isn't all messed up at the end of these fights. It's because I'm so good at seeing punches, rolling with punches, and controlling space and time. It's hard to see that with the human naked eye. The reason I'm the underdog is because people don't understand what I'm doing. People think I'm stupid. And it's awesome. It's the best thing I have going for me. Many of my opponents have thought I was stupid and have no game plan. I have a perfect game, what I believe is a perfect game plan for Ilia Topuria. I understand how dangerous this game is. I know he can knock me out with one punch. I understand, if I'm not perfect and if I make mistakes, he will finish me. And for him, he thinks he's untouchable. And I'm going to touch his face. I'm going to change the way his face looks. He's going to be bleeding. I'm going to give him stitches. Proving people right feels really, really good. But proving people wrong is almost just as satisfying. And so I have so much desire to prove my people right and to prove so many people wrong that I'm so ready for this.
Perfectly said. Did that sound like somebody that was overly confident or arrogant? That sounded like a person that's been to many of these wars. And he treated it as such, like, yo, this is going to be another war that I got to prepare for. And my goodness, I'm going to be prepared for this moment. And this guy on the other side think that shit is sweet. And I'm going to show him that it ain't. I'm going to touch his face. And that's what he did. He broke his fucking face. All right, let's get to another clip. It ain't over it yet. Let's get to I got to set it up for y'all who don't pay attention to this UFC shit. I got to set it up for y'all. The champion, the former champion, right? Here's another clip. This is him talking. They had the two, Gaethje and you had Topuria, talking on Pat McAfee's show. Here's another clip of his arrogance.
Never said anything personal, but we're very vulnerable when it comes to fight week. We're very emotional. This guy's
I'm not going to say anything personal from you. Don't worry about it. I find the first difference here is that you are going to try to hurt me, and I'm actually going to hurt you.
Okay.
That's the difference between me and you. I'm not going to try to do anything. I'm going to do it.
Gaethje, you think he's a little bit more confident than you, Justin? It feels like that's what I'm hearing right now, Justin.
He's narcissist and believes everything he says, and he sits around and smells his own farts, and he thinks he's God. He's human, just like me. I'm going to show him when I touch his chin, he's going to go to sleep. I love you knowing that you're going to knock me out, because when it goes to the second round, it goes to the third round, you're going to be like, oh, I talked all this shit.
Bro, there's never going to be a second or third round. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
That's not going to happen.
This dude, see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking. This is what I'm talking about, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Like he dude.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
This motherfucker really was talking hot shit. He had the 18-0 on his bio on Instagram. Like, he already had it all set in his mind that Gaethje was going to be down. And Gaethje said, yo, when this shit gets into the deep waters, which he predicted or he foreshadowed correctly, he said, dude, this shit gets into deep waters. You're going to be wondering how the fuck I got here as I'm touching your face. And he did he did everything he said he was going to do. Now, on one more clip, I'm going to play this clip with Ilya talking to Joe Rogan. This was earlier in the week, I believe. And his arrogance was on full display here as well, talking about, it's like he didn't understand the guy he was fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't really, it was so weird because, Joe had to kind of correct him and say, hey, man, that's not true. He does this, he does that. Like Ilya completely took Gaethje for granted. And it's weird because he likes Gaethje as a fighter. He said it. I've seen him in the interview say, I like watching him. And even, if I'm not mistaken, put him on his Mount Rushmore maybe. Or he didn't, but he said he definitely enjoys watching him fight. So how did he not know some of the tendencies of Gaethje and how he had to, be careful and wary of those tendencies? He just totally just had no respect for him, which is just crazy. That is like 101 when you're trying to beat an opponent. You got to respect them and you can't take them lightly. And he did none of that. All right, let's get to Joe Rogan.
Justin Gaethje's mindset is to be the most violent person alive. Do you think Patty's going to beat Justin Gaethje?
Easy.
Wow. Really easy?
Yeah, easy.
Really easy?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a crazy thing to say because Justin Gaethje's a fucking animal.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to grapple. And Patty knows
But he's a Division I wrestler. He knows how to grapple. You don't think he knows how to grapple? He just chooses not to. He chooses to stand and fight.
I don't think so. Did you ever saw him submitting someone?
I don't believe he's ever submitted someone, but I think that's because he likes to just crush people. He likes to bang it out and fight. He used to fight.
What everyone likes is to dominate people and to win as soon as possible. If you have the ability to submit someone as soon as you can,
I think Justin Gaethje's mindset is to be the most violent person alive.
Well said, Joe. He is, that dude's mission is to be the most violent alive in that ring, at least, in that night, at least. Because he is coming with haymakers. He ain't running. That's one thing I respect about, Gaethje. He ain't going to run. He going to stand toe-to-toe and he going to duke it out with you. He going to fight. And like Joe Rogan said, the dude is an pretty much all-world Division I wrestler, grappler. I mean, he chooses not to do it because he doesn't want to gas out in fights when he's throwing haymakers. He said this during the post-match. Like, he doesn't rely a lot on his grappling, his wrestling, and stuff like that because he doesn't want to gas out in these big fights, which you can kind of see the way he throws his punches. Yeah, this dude was just so arrogant. Now, let's get to how he actually, what ended up happening to the dude. Look at this. Now, with all that bullshit he was talking, him ended up getting his face broken, essentially. He did the stand-up thing. I got to give Taporia credit for doing the stand-up thing and, giving Justin his due credit and just saying, I lost, man. I wasn't, it was classy. It was classy for him to do this. I know people on the internet is getting their shit off, and it's well-deserved. He deserves it. This dude he needs this humbling. If he's going to continue his fight career, I'm not sure of his damages. He's going to need some time off. I mean, he got his shit. Gaethje beat the shit out of this dude, and he's going to need some time to recover, at least several months to recover. And this recovering, if he is who he thinks he is, should help him grow as a fighter. He's 17-1 now, and from here, this could be your second half of your career. Maybe you have several more fights to go, and you have to do some course correction now. You got to stop being so goddamn arrogant, because arrogance is why your face looks the way it looks today. Let's say what he said. This is what Ilya said to Justin. All right, Justin, congratulations. You said you'd leave your mark on my face, and you did. Yes, he did. Yes, he sure fucking did. You took the sight from my right eye. I gotta read this. I'm blind. You took the sight from my right eye in the first round, and by the end of the second, my left too. No excuses. I had one of the best camps of my life. I came in sharp, prepared, and ready. Last night was your night. That's the nature of this game. Glory and pain walk side by side. I'll heal, I'll rest, and I'll return stronger, wiser, and far more dangerous. And trust me, this story between us is far from over. We will have our rematch. I don't think so, buddy. That's the part I think we are missed here. You ain't getting no rematch, dog. You won. You lost probably 3-1 in that fight. You got the shit beat out of you. You are going to be skipped in line, sir. And it's okay. If you truly are great, you should climb right back up that ladder with no problems. You got to fight Isham, and you got to wait for you got to wait for Ferguson and what's going to happen with McGregor. Maybe you can get in the mix of that. Then you got Arman. Like, there's a lot of people that's ahead of you now, dog. That's all it takes. One slip up, your ass fall right down the ladder. And that's where Topuria is today. So shout out to him for just showing some class. He could have been quiet, but you can't be quiet after the humiliation you experienced. And this humiliation is still continuing on today as far as the internet is concerned with all the memes and everything. But that's a wrap on that main event. What a main event it was. Gaethje really performed above and beyond what a lot of people expected for some reason. But if you've seen Gaethje matches, this dude, man, he's a wild card. You never know what you're going to get as far as the outcome. But what you do know from Gaethje, you're going to get balls to the wall, 100% fucking effort. And you got to match that same effort on the other side. And if you don't match that effort, you're going to be laid the fuck out. Yeah, but now I want to now as far as the rest of the card is concerned, the next it was 2 or 3, it was 3 main events really. So Sean O'Malley won his match in impressive fashion. Sean O'Malley's impressive. Every time I watch him, I just love the way he fights, man. He's got the body of a fighter. He's lanky, kind of tall, and you know, his movement in the ring is unique. It's different. It really throws off fighters, and it threw off the fighter that he fought. I can't remember his name, but again, I'm not a UFC expert, but O'Malley really did his job, man, and he was impressive. He's moving up the ladder. He's going to definitely be in line with that light heavyweight championship or bantamweight belt or whatever he's going after. Now, Cyril Gane, or Gane, I can't pronounce it. Gane, I think it's Gane. Cyril Gane, and how he beat Alex Pereira. Everybody had Alex Pereira for some fucking reason. I know, I get it. He's a legend in the middleweight division and yada, yada, yada. But yo, listen, man, you move up to the heavyweight division, it's a different atmosphere up there. That air is different. You know what I mean? It's a different atmosphere up there. And Pereira definitely felt that. Like, Cyril Gane, man, is fast and quick. He got quick feet, quick hands for his size. And he put that on full display. Like, as a heavyweight, it was impressive. And I love how John Jones kind of responded after the fight, basically saying, hey, number one, I'm still the GOAT because I choked your ass out after a 3-year absence. Can you believe that? After you see what Cyril Gane did to fucking Alex Pereira. And then you think about what John Jones did to Gane after a 3-year absence. That doesn't even make sense. That's fucking next level extraterrestrial type shit right there, man. That's greatness at a whole different level. So John Jones is still being called the GOAT, and I get it. Like, but yeah, those were really the main events. I'm not going to break down, the later cards. They were all good. Go check it out. If you got Paramount Plus, I ain't promoting it like that, but go check it out if you into that fight shit. It definitely delivered. It definitely delivered. I think every match on the card had a stoppage. It was a TKO or a total KO. So if you like fighting, that's what you pretty much want to watch. So despite all the other shenanigans that I'm going to touch on real quick before I move to my next topic, I am going to touch on all the political stuff. I mean, it is what it is. We all knew what Trump was going to do. Yes, I'm going to insert Trump into this conversation, unfortunately. Because sports and politics go hand in hand. And it was another painful reminder for people how that is the true fucking reality. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee and it was like, oh, you're bringing politics into the sports and to the game, and you shouldn't do that, and blah, blah, blah. Ah, shut up. Politics have always been a part of the game. Politics is a part of life in general. Hello, wakey, wakey. I hate when people say that shit. Politics. Oh, I don't know. I don't follow it. Oh, we shouldn't bring politics in. Politics is involved in everything, dumbass. How you eat at night, how you sleep, which, everything is involved in politics. So Trump having, one of his favorite forms of entertainment at the White House on some fucking circus, hillbilly, whatever you want to call it. It was just poor class. This is the state. This is the people's house. This is the White House we're talking about. He did the equivalent of a family barbecue in the front yard. I was saying to my boy, I was like, man, all we missing is the chimpanzees and the flamethrowers and some monster trucks and some more motherfucking mullets on the sideline. That's all we was missing. Some Miller Lite draft. That's just really fucking, that's really gin it up. That's all we was missing. You had to fighting. Like, yo, man, it is what it is, man. Like, I know people were upset about what Hokic, or whatever his fucking name is. Who cares? One of the fighters who said Michelle Obama is a man. And, this is what I want people to start doing. Stop giving attention to stupid fucking idiots like that guy. What did he say that we haven't heard before? We heard it before. People have been calling Michelle Obama a man, racist shit, pretty much, a man for over a decade, 15 years, 20 years now. It's a disgusting, racist, prejudice, whatever you want to put, whatever bucket you want to put it in, trope that they've been doing. The monkey tropes, all that shit is racist as fuck. We've heard it before. Who cares? That shit don't bother me no more. It don't bother me no more. You know why? Because it's a fucking distraction from what's actually happening in the world. Just like the old saying goes when you were a kid, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words should never hurt, or how that goes. Why do you think they made that shit? They made it so people could stop being emotional about everything that someone says. He didn't say anything we ain't heard before, guys. Am I excusing it? No. But I don't want to shed light to some bullshit I've heard already. Let's move on. When you bring attention to shit that don't deserve the attention, you give it more life. That's it. But let's be real. Let's be real now. Now that we're on the politics segment here, let's be real. A lot of people on the other side get off on this shit too. This identity politics, social politics. They use every opportunity to highlight it and make that the center of attention versus the famine around the world, versus the fucking the shit, the atrocities that's going on in Gaza and Lebanon and Iran, the Middle East. Humanity. We're having a conversation. We should be having a conversation about humanity as a whole. Why our tax dollars are going to bombing brown kids, brown families, blowing up girls' schools and shit. That's what our fucking dollars are going to. We don't have health care. We don't have free tuition. I don't give a shit what that fighter has to say. I care about the things I just said. That's why we don't have anything, because everybody wants to pay attention and hyper-focus on stupid shit that don't really matter in the world. Is it getting laws passed? Is it helping society? No. It's a fucking distraction. Move on. That's how I think now. Everything is a fucking distraction now. If it's not getting things done, accomplishing set task, it's a distraction. Moral of the story, folks, stop being distracted with every single little thing that you may or may not like and focus on bigger, higher arching things that could help the greater good. Other than that, everything else is just fucking noise. All right, let's get to the Knicks. Let's get to the Knicks now. We're going to jump to the Knicks. This is the last time I'm going to talk about the New York Knicks. I'm not going to say the last time, but it is the last time I'm going to talk about these finals. These finals, and I want to just talk about the NBA in general and how great of an NBA playoffs this really was, man. This was one of the best playoffs that I've watched in quite some time, just on an entertainment level. You know, it was really good. You know, the Western Conference Finals was one of my favorite series I've seen in a while with the Thunder and the Spurs. And this year's NBA Finals was something, even though I didn't like a lot of what I seen because I had the Spurs in the finals, it was something we've never seen before. We've never seen the New York Knicks win a title, and we've never seen a team collapse the way the Spurs collapsed in the finals. We've never seen this before. And I understand why a lot of people have the animosity that they have toward the Spurs and how it, you know, having that animosity kind of takes away from the accomplishment that the New York Knicks just had. And but the losing, the way the Spurs lost, it's not that they lost. Let's just be clear. Let's make this really crystal clear for some of the New York fans out there. To me, and what I've seen on my timeline, and me, I'm in that category. I'm in that crowd. I'm in the crowd of people who aren't upset with the Spurs losing. We are upset how they lost. Because it was something we've never seen before. It was a level of incompetence that we've never seen before. It's not just people on the internet saying it. It's a shit ton of analysts who've covered the sport forever saying it. When I seen Michael Wilbon say what he said, I have this on video, of course. You can check it on the channel. Doing very well, by the way, too. When Mike Wilbon said what he said about being in the vein of it being some of the dumbest coaching he's ever seen or some of the dumbest gameplay he's ever seen, you really got to take that into consideration given how fucking old he is. He's in his 70s, I believe. He's got to be in his 70s. I'm not doing a quick Google search, but Mike Wilbon is pretty old, and he's seen a lot of basketball, and he's forgotten and seen a lot of basketball than we have. I mean, he's like the Yoda of this shit when it comes to black NBA analysts, reporters who've been covering this shit for forever. That's why Stephen A. Smith, that's one of his mentors. He's been in the game forever. So the fact that he said what he said is telling. It is some of the dumbest coaching and gameplay management we have ever seen in our lifetime. That's why people are critical of this finals. That's why. That's it. Not because of the Knicks won. Why would we be upset with that? People who are real fans of the game should not be upset with the Knicks' success. I'm an East Coaster. This is great for us. You had the Puerto Rican Day Parade over the weekend after they won the fucking chip. That's how good this team and how destined this team was. We just didn't see it. I didn't see it. I'm guilty. I didn't see the magic carpet ride. It was too late until I seen it. I think it was like game 2 to maybe, that should have been the moment when I said, oh man, this is just magical. I don't think it's the way the Knicks have won this whole playoff run. Let's be clear. They probably were going to win regardless, but it's just the way the Spurs lost. It's inexplainable, inexcusable. And Mitch Johnson has to pay for it. He won't pay for it. But if I was the Spurs brass management, I'm probably going to get rid of Mitch Johnson in favor of someone like Jason Kidd. But anyway, I'll get to my Kidd point in a second. Let's get to some of the things that I actually wanted to talk about during this finals here. Boom. Let's bring up this slide right here. Perfect slide right here. For those of you on audio who can't see the slide, this is a slide of the 2026 NBA Finals. San Antonio Spurs blown leads. They had 5. It was only 5 games. Let me see it in the camera. It was only 5 games the entire series. And every single game in that series, they had a double-digit lead. And somehow it managed to lose 4 of those games. Unreal. So on the screen here, if you can see it, some of you guys can see it for you video folks. On the screen here, you got game 1, max lead, 14 points. Game 2, 12 points. I'm going to just go down the line here. Game 3, 12 points. They won game 3, even though they were up double digits and they had to win it in closing minutes. Game 4, this was the one that really made everyone fall out their seats. This is the max lead, blown lead of 29 points. They blew that. Historic blown lead. Then they said, hold my beer. We're going to come back and blow another double-digit lead. This time, 16 points in the closeout game in game 5 at home. So let's be clear. The Spurs didn't win any games at home, and they had home court advantage. That's another shit stat for them to throw on their bucket of shit. This was just terrible. There's just no explaining this. You can't explain this shit away. You can't explain this away. You can't say, oh, Spurs fans, turn your back. We're going to bring back Mitch Johnson. Come on, man. Look at this. And this ain't just players or De'Aaron Fox, even though they were big portions of it as well. This is coaching. This ain't fucking trying to put it on the players. This is fucking coaching. Like, come on, man. Come on. Awful. Like that's what we experience in the finals. That's why a lot of us is as excited and as hyper as we are when it comes to explaining what the hell we seen. It wasn't good basketball. Horrible decision-making on an all-time level. Now, I wanted to attack all the Wemby. Hey, he should get his conditioning up. He failed because he wasn't in the type of top conditioning he should be in. He should be playing 40-plus minutes so he can give his team an opportunity. Oh, my God. That sounds so ridiculous. I had to cover this because I thought about this even during the series. I was saying during the time of the series that Wemby was playing too many minutes. He was playing 40-plus minutes in a lot of nights, and you just not getting the best Wemby at those types of minutes. It's common sense. He didn't even play those minutes during the regular season. So you think that he's going to play 40-plus? Just because he's your best player doesn't mean he should play 40-plus minutes. Especially the fact that he's a big. Great bigs traditionally don't play 40-plus minutes. Hell, they barely play 35. You don't believe me? Here, I pulled up a graphic for you guys. Right here. Here you go. Congratulations. Look at it. I made a graphic that has Tim Duncan and David Robinson's career minutes played per game. Now, it's important to bring these guys up because these are the two guys, the Twin Towers. These are the two guys that Wemby is following. These are the two guys that he is putting his shoes he's stepping behind. And, Tim Duncan, 34 minutes career played. He only played 34. David Robinson, just a little bit more than Tim, 34.7 minutes. What do you notice with both of them? Both of them are drastically under 40 minutes played. Drastically under that. Why? Because that's the best you can get out of men that size. They traditionally don't play a lot of minutes. So this notion that Wemby needs to get up his conditioning to play 40-plus minutes is horseshit. You're asking him to do something that majority of the great bigs haven't done. It's ridiculous. You sound stupid if you're saying that. These guys were all-time great. They called Tim Duncan the greatest power forward ever, and he played 34 fucking minutes. We come here, we do the Voice Junkie, we do Chuck's Corner, we do all of that. We talk facts, stats. We give receipts to our positions here. We don't just talk. We give you receipts. And this is a receipt right here. The two bigs before Wemby played drastically less than 40 minutes. So why should he play 40? It's an excuse for bad coaching. That's what it is. It's an excuse. And I'm gonna keep this graphic up because I did other stats. I didn't do a graphic for those stats, but Giannis, you know how many minutes Giannis has played in his career? His career stats so far for minutes played per game for his entire career is 32.7 minutes. He's averaging less than 33 minutes a game. Do we need to ask Giannis to play 40 minutes a game? Why does we not ask him to do it? Because he can't. Not that he can't. It's not efficient for him to. You get the best version of Giannis when he's playing less minutes. Because every minute played is at a high level, an elite level that most players, regular players, can't achieve. They can't hit that level. So their elite players play, their minutes are different. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. Giannis hasn't done it. I pulled up Olajuwon. I pulled up Shaquille O'Neal. I pulled up a ton of great centers, and none of them averaged 40 minutes a game. Hell, barely 35 a game. You can do this. You can pull it up yourself on your own Googles. So the point that I'm making here, and let's drop this graphic here. The point that I make, the whole point and moral of the story here with Wemby is stop trying to blame Wemby's conditioning and instead of blaming what really was the issue. It was the coaching. All right. Wemby playing 40 plus minutes, you're asking him to do something that most great centers don't do. So stop saying it because it's a stupid thing to say. All right. Moving on. Let's get to I'm feeling good. We're getting topics crazy. I told you it's a bunch of fucking topics today. Bunch of topics. Let's get to, this was a great topic. And shout out to Rashad McCants over at the arena or whatever the fuck Gilbert Arena show is called. This was a great topic. It says, what has LeBron James influenced? Now, this came up because I believe LeBron James was named most influential or some shit. I think Time Magazine did it. I don't know. Some magazine outlet or some media outlet donned him with this title, basically, being influential. And Rashad McCants had a great point that he brought up. One second. He had a great point that he brought up that I want to bring up on the screen real quick. 1 second.
What has LeBron influenced? When we're talking about influence to be over the last 100 years, what is his influence greater than Tom Brady's or Cristiano Ronaldo?
He's built an empire.
They all have empires.
He set the tone for what it is for an athlete to become a billionaire. I mean, he's the first active player to play in the NBA that's a billionaire, put his guys on. If we're talking about him.
I'm asking, what is the influence?
How to be successful as a
and being able to break bread and actually be able to do it his way and come into the league and be successful. We're talking about a guy who's the American dream, being able to just do what everybody said I couldn't do.
We're still talking about influence.
I mean, that is influence.
So,
we're talking about the American dream.
Braids.
Right, that's a culture thing.
Michael Jordan, the Jordan brand, the logo itself is influential. Steph Curry's jump shot, very influential as far as what you take from him and you see it and you like, I want to be like Mike. What is LeBron's signature influential
young black man in this country growing up without a father, single mother household,
so is the
how to be successful as a young black man, how to stay out of trouble, how never to go to prison, how to take care of your loved ones.
Is that a PDF you can download online?
Why would you need that?
It's like something tangible I can have and say, I got these
You can
things.
Google LeBron James and look at from his age 15, 16, 17, 18 to 41, what it has endured to be at that level of success on the floor and off the floor.
And off.
So where is
not tarnishing your name, not tarnishing your image.
What do you mean? What is the influence?
So
I want to be like Mike. Wheaties, Gatorade. Like these are branding identifiers of influence.
And they were in the last century. But we're being honest, they were all in the last century. So we're talking about.
Great topic. I had to put this topic on the podcast because this is kind of what is always, a topic or the center of any topic in like a barbershop or anywhere where we discuss these things about the greatest of all time, like LeBron and MJ, which is always a conversation. You could throw Kobe in there because a lot of people have him as their greatest, but there's a lot of great players, right? And Rashad's point, I thought it was so good. It was so good. He's getting really good at this podcasting shit, by the way. Because real quick, this is how you are successful at podcasting. Like when you do things like that, you do topics that engage a bunch of people and it brings on a ton of attention. That is good work on his part because this is what that did. And it was a simple question. What has LeBron James influenced? And what Rashad, in my opinion, was trying to convey to his cast members, Kmart and Brandon Jennings and those guys, was like, yo, you're telling me just personal, tangible things. Oh, he's a great father. He's made a lot of money. He's done this. He's done that. Everyone's done that. There's been a ton of great fathers in the NBA. Jalen Brunson's dad. Is he better than Jalen Brunson's dad? You know what I'm saying? There's a ton of great dads. There's people who've made money in the league. That's not an influential thing. That's great. What Rashad is saying, in my opinion, is he's trying to ask the question, what is his influence? What is the thing, the tangible thing that he is bringing to us, the world, the masses, that is greater than he is, that's beyond his game, like things that we took from his game and put it out to the masses that they took and adopted. So he brought up examples like Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson brought the hip hop culture straight into the NBA. The braids, the gear, the all of that, the rapping, the this, the that. He did that first, right? You can even bring up Chris Webber and Jalen Rose and those guys. They were the first to wear baggy jerseys and baggy fucking pants and all of that. The black socks. That was the Michigan dudes. That was Jalen Rose and them. Go on and on. I give you some more because I've been watching the game for a long time. Let's bring up Steph Curry. We don't even need to talk about Michael Jordan because he's on a different platform. He's the GOAT. Like he's the reason why everybody wants brands. Nobody gave a damn about a brand until Michael Jordan came around. That is an identifier that Rashad is talking about. That's influence. You know what I mean? That's what he's talking about. Steph Curry, the way he plays the game. Shooting 30 plus feet away from the fucking basket. Dribble, throw it up, shoot it 30, 35 plus feet. He changed the game. He influenced the game. There's kids coming up shooting 30 plus feet away because of Steph. Girls and boys. He changed the game. Magic Johnson. There wasn't a 6'9" fucking point guard before him. Maybe I talking about LeBron. It was a guy named Magic Johnson that did it way before LeBron was even thought of. He wasn't even born yet. So you can't say him. You can't say the big point guard, this, that, and you can't say that. I mean, you could go on and on with this stuff. James Harden. He changed it. He was influential. Again, the gameplay. He was influential because of how people play. The step back. The dribble step back. The side step back. The bringing the ball below your waist and bringing it up into the defender to go to a free throw line. James Harden coined that. That was James Harden. So these are identifiers that Rashad is saying. He's saying, what has LeBron contributed that is of influence to the game and beyond the game? And I had to think about it. I was like, you know what? Free agency. LeBron changed the game when it came to free agency. He made it okay for superstar players in any market to say, you know what? Fuck this market. It's okay for me to go and team up with all my, YMCA rec league friends, essentially. Team up, take over a team, a market, and run it the way we want to run it. And if that team don't agree with it, then it's either us or the highway. Like, he ushered in that. Now, you can call that, for good or bad, you could call that great. You know, I know some people, superstars, would probably say, that's great. It gave us more decisions. It put control in our hands more for us to go and decide wherever we want to play, if we want to play with our friends or whatnot. He changed the league in that way. I think free agency, for me, is how he changed it. Because before him, don't say the Celtics, those guys were out of their prime. They were all in their 30s when they put together the big three, okay? They weren't 27, 28 like the Miami Heat, okay? Move on with that argument. It's a dumb argument. This is when it started. When prime players decided to leave their home teams or their teams that they were drafted by and go and team up with other superstars. That started because of him, without a doubt, for good or bad. So that, in my opinion, is how he influenced the game. Free agency. What do y'all think about that? You know, give y'all opinions, y'all 2 cents down in the comment section below. I would love to hear some of y'all opinions about that. I think it's free agency. It's not being a great dad. It's not this. It's not that. It's not being a billionaire playing. Michael Jordan was really, really, really rich when he was playing, especially during the second half of his three-peat. He was already Jordan Brand. He was all of that already. He was an owner, if I'm not mistaken, he was a partial owner of the Washington Wizards when he came back. He had to give up ownership to come back and play for them. We forgot about that, huh? No, I'm old enough to remember some of this stuff. That's why these new gen people don't know shit. They don't know shit from shit, and a lot of them don't like history, so they don't know. But Jordan was like a partial owner when he played for the Wizards. He had to give up partial ownership to play for the Wizards because it was against the rules. So Jordan did a lot of that shit already too. Rashad, I'm with you, dog. You great for pissing off and testing the waters out there. It was great. Love that question. All right, let's end this and talk about some wrestling. Netflix, WWE Raw, and more. That's what I put up there. I'm not going to do no Netflix Raw review, really. I'm just going to talk about a little bit of the highlights and stuff that I thought was pretty cool. Talk about some of the past stuff, like Jade Cargill losing her wig on SmackDown. That was wild. But shout out to Jade, man, for toughing it out, not being a little bitch, rolling under the ring or something, and toughing it out. Doing moves with one arm and holding the wig, doing bumps, holding the wig. She still soldiered through that match, man. She's had a really solid last few months on the mic and in the ring. A lot of people don't want to say it because they have some weird hate for her, but she's been solid, bro. The matches, she's been having solid matches and been solid on the mic. So, the Jade slander, she gets this kind of similar slander like I can't remember her name now. Nia Jax. She gets similar criticism like Nia Jax. And I remember Nia Jax first came back and just having solid match after solid match. And after a while, those naysayers start to go quiet after a while. But Jade's been solid. But back to the Raw shit. Back to the Raw shit. Yeah, I mean, Raw was solid. I mean, for the most part. I like the fact that they had Logan Paul come out. Like, Logan Paul's not going to be wrestling for quite some time. But I like the fact that they used him still. Like, you don't always have to be in the ring to be used as a talent. And Logan Paul is great talent as far as a professional wrestler is concerned. He gets a reaction. He gets heat, as they call it. Whether he's in the ring or not. Dude just come out and they boo him. Pick up the mic, they boo him louder. So I like the fact that they still use Logan Paul. And I hope they continue to use him. You know what I'm saying? Just as a mouthpiece, as an arrogant to somebody that just come out in certain towns and just irritate the crowd. Like, that's what true heels do. So I like the fact that they brought him out there during that little I guess they're trying to recruit Javon Evans. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't work out well for them. And Javon Evans, went on and did his match and everything with Austin Theory. But other than that, what else that I cared about to really highlight? Bloodline doing Bloodline things. They beat the shit out of Eric Andre after their segment. I thought that was entertaining. Eric Andre was going to be fine. This motherfucker beats himself up worse than what Jacob Fatu did to him. Trust me. I knew he would be able to take the bumps. You know what I mean? And he looks like he's in a little bit of shape. He don't look like, out of shape and lethargic. He looks like he could take a bump or two. And I wasn't surprised that he took those bumps pretty well by Jacob. But the Bloodline is interesting, man. Everybody talks shit about the Death Riders, but the Bloodline is starting to become the Death Riders of the WWE. Are they heels? Are they good guys? Are they, you know what I mean? Nobody really knows. Because I tell you what, I was thinking about that when they attacked poor old Eric Andre. I thought about it and I was like, Jay is a heel. Like, Jay is probably a bigger heel than Roman. And still, he'll come out from time to time in segments, running it back, doing the yeet shit. And then the crowd eating with him, and I'm confused. Are you a heel or are you a bad guy? Because you do bad guy shit. Like, so I don't want to hear this. Like, again, that sounds Death Rider-ish to me. It definitely does. Are you a heel or are you a babyface? Which one are you? If we can't tolerate it with the Death Riders, why the fuck should we tolerate it with the Bloodline 2.0 or whatever the hell version of the Bloodline we are in now? Can't have it both ways, man. The tribalism sucks in professional wrestling. Seriously. Like, can't have it both ways. But great segment with that. Who knows how far this will go? Obviously, it looks like Jacob is just going to be reprising the role of Solo Sikoa and being Roman's heavy. So I don't know how great that's going to be for Jacob down the road. Hopefully it'll lead to him winning a championship, the world championship at some point. But other than that, what else was interesting to even talk about and highlight? I mean, you had, Street Profits, Hawkins making his return, them jumping in on the Vision, and Seth Rollins with the Vision, Hawkins, and I don't know, man. It's not exciting. It's not exciting. We're just waiting for CM Punk to come back, and so we can build up some storylines with Punk and see where that's going to go. Punk and Cody for SummerSlam probably not going to happen, but Punk and Cody needs to happen soonish. You know what I mean? We need to shake some shit up with WWE because it's been kind of stale lately. You know, they got Night of Champions coming up at the end of the month or in a couple of weeks, in less than a couple of weeks. I think Gunther is going to be going against Cody again. Now, this is not Raw stuff. This is on SmackDown. Again, I'm done with the Raw review, I guess. We get into the wrestling stuff now. Yeah, I think Cody should drop the strap to Gunther. Like, everything is setting up for him to drop the strap. You got Sami Zayn coming in now, being the referee, special guest referee. He's turning heel. I think this is almost predictable. If Gunther doesn't win the belt, it's probably going to be some screwy shenanigans going on, and then it's going to probably be a triple threat between Gunther, Sami, and Cody. And then we're just going to keep on extending this stuff. It's crazy to me that WWE does not have their top guys lose. They just don't lose often. How do you become an unpredictable booker or keep people off their feet when it comes to guessing what's going to happen when you don't have your top guys ever lose? Cody he barely loses. It's the John Cena treatment that we hated so much. I'm talking for myself. Fuck we. Me. I hated this John Cena run during the PG era, him squashing the Nexus and him squashing this guy and squashing that guy. Burial after burial after burial. Win. They created a term, LOL, Cena wins, because he always won. He was Super Cena for a reason, not because we liked it. We hated it. And Cody is falling into the same trap, not because it's on his own regards. It's because it's how he's being booked. For whatever reason, the WWE feel like they have to book their top guys to be invincible. They have to lose. They have to win all the time. It's boring. It's boring and it's lazy. So I hope they change it up soon, because now I come into these things, man. That's why I don't do a lot of reviews. This is why this one is not a review. It's kind of just me just shooting the shit. I just like to enjoy the shows. I'm so glad that I don't have to do it for a living, because I feel bad for those who have to like cover these shows even when they're terrible or they're boring as shit. Like, if it's boring as shit, I'm just not going to talk about it. It's entertainment. I'll just put it in that entertainment bucket and won't even mention it. You know what I'm saying? But Raw was all right, I guess. A lot of building up for Night of Champions, a lot of building up for the King of the Ring tournament. Like, you know, they got a couple things. Will they take risks? Will they make it happen? Who knows? But they better make it happen, because the AEW is on fire. I'll probably be covering that tomorrow as well. But all right, man. Don't want to go on too long. Did a little bit of wrestling talk. Not as we'll do some different wrestling talk. I'm going to set some stuff up down the road as far as some content pieces that I want to put together. Some booking ideas, those types of things that I want to do down the road. But other than that, stay tuned for any recaps that I do down the road as far as AEW Dynamite and SmackDown, or the PLEs that are coming down the road. All right. So that's this week's episode. This is the latest episode. I had to give y'all a lot. It's been a long time, so I had to make this one count. This is episode 106. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Talk to y'all soon again. Peace.